Zuma stresses political role of workers and Deputy Minister speaks on Kruger Park shooting fiasco. Good afternoon to you. President Jacob Zuma stressed the need for workers to be political. He says the past political regime forced workers to work under inhumane conditions, and this caused workers to start their involvement in political formations. Zuma was addressing thousands of people at the main National Workers' Day rally in Botshabelo in the Free State. He says government will do everything possible to improve relations with key labour components. Members of COSATU who attended Workers' Day celebrations in Alexandra, north of Johannesburg, say more still needs to be done to sort out the issue of labour brokers. The ANC's Deputy Secretary-General, Thandi Modise, who addressed the event, says the concern is noted by both the trade union and the ruling party and that a solution will be reached soon. She says there will always be a partnership between trade unions and the ANC to eliminate oppression by one another.
The workers are oppressed by political action. They must take political action in reply. While the South African Congress, trade unions must thus pursue an independent policy in the interests of the workers, it must also participate unreservedly in the struggle to mobilize the people behind their demands as embodied in the Freedom Charter, and must cooperate with all other organizations engaged in the struggle.
DA member of the Eastern Cape Provincial Parliament, Deka Haddon, says without workers there would be no employment and no world economy. He was addressing a crowd in the Cathcart Town Hall. Haddon says it's difficult to celebrate Workers' Day in South Africa with an unemployment rate of 25%. He says at least 3 million youths in the country are struggling to find jobs. The Deputy Water and Environmental Affairs Minister, Rejoice Mabudafasi, has denied that two anti-rhino poaching teams involved in a recent shooting in the Kruger National Park were not properly coordinated. A game ranger and a member of the South African Police Service were shot and killed in the park last week. They were part of two teams that were conducting a search for rhino poachers when they ended up attacking one another. The Deputy Minister visited the park today, where she met with the family of the deceased game ranger. There's traffic congestion at the Capricorn tollgate between Polokwane and Louis Trichardt in Limpopo. This as hundreds of holidaymakers travel home after the long weekend. Katlego Nyoni reports.
It is estimated that close to 268 vehicles headed towards the south pass the Capricorn Toll Plaza in Limpopo on an hourly basis. This, motorists say, is very frustrating. The southbound traffic is backed up for close to 3 kilometers. Officials are expecting that figure to increase later today. Katlego Nyoni, SABC News, Capricorn Toll Plaza, Limpopo.
Tzipi Livni, the woman who was until recently leader of the largest party in the Israeli parliament, has announced that she's leaving parliament and frontline politics. The BBC's Wera Davis.
Outside Israel, Tzipi Livni was one of the country's best-known and most respected politicians. English-speaking, urbane and supportive of international efforts to reach a peace deal between Israel and the Palestinians. She was credited for not seeking a coalition with ultra-religious parties, even though as leader of the biggest party in parliament, she could have theoretically become prime minister after the 2009 elections. Inside Israel, however, her reputation and standing suffered as her centrist Kadima party failed to effectively challenge the Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu.